There are declassified files. And then there are the kind of files that make you stop and ask, why was this kept? Because buried inside the CIA archive is a report so bizarre, so disturbing, and so impossible to forget that it reads less like intelligence and more like a nightmare someone accidentally documented. According to the file, Soviet soldiers encountered a UFO during a military training exercise. They reportedly shot it down. And what happened next is the kind of thing that makes this story spread like wildfire. The report says that 5 small humanoid figures emerged from the wreckage. Not 1, not 2, 5. Then, according to the file, those beings merged into a single glowing sphere of white light. A sphere that hissed, buzzed, and then exploded. And after that, the soldiers were gone. The file claims 23 Soviet soldiers were turned into stone. Not injured, not burned, turned into stone. Only 2 survived. Now let's be clear. This is a declassified archive report, not a movie script. And the CIA did not exactly stamp it with, yes, this definitely happened. But that doesn't make it less disturbing. Because the story existed long enough to be translated, archived, and preserved, which means someone, somewhere, thought it was important enough to keep. And that is where this gets uncomfortable. Because if this was nonsense, why did it survive the cutting room of history? Why was it saved? Why does it still circulate decades later, making people stare at the screen and whisper, what if? That is the power of these files. They don't just tell stories, they open doors. And behind this one is a scene that feels almost biblical in its horror. A military unit, a downed craft, strange beings, a burst of light, and 23 soldiers transformed into stone. Whether the details are accurate, exaggerated, mistranslated, or stitched together from a dozen different sources, the result is the same. It's the kind of story that sticks to your mind. Because real or not, it feels like something that should not exist in an official record. And yet, there it is, buried in the archive, waiting for someone to read it and realize the truth. Sometimes, the scariest stories are the ones the government never fully explains. The archive kept the story. The truth stayed hidden.